Okay, Dan Campbell with an awesome motivational tactic. But before we get to that, I have it right here. Before we get to that, can we just appreciate and look at some of our past coaches and where we are and how lucky we are to have Dan Campbell? So let's just go back here. Of course, Wayne Fonts, Bobby Ross. Okay, let's start with Morningweg. 2001. Oh my gosh, the dark ages. So you got 2001. Morningweg comes in, brutal. It's like, this isn't going to work. Okay, Mariucci. I remember being so excited for Mariucci. West Coast offense, Joey Harrington, Charles Rogers, Dre Bly. How could this fail? It fails. So then we think, you know what we need? We need toughness. We need O line, D line, Rod Marinelli, John Kitna. We're just gonna be tough. No, that did not. That did not work. When we go 0-16 with a negative 249-point differential, next year we hired Jim Schwartz. We got to be different. We got to be tough. Whatever. We win 2 games there. So in that stretch, really in this 3-season stretch, we won 8 total games. Man, that was tough. So Jim Schwartz comes in. Hey, we're tough. We're weird. We got Sue. We're not backing down from people. We do make the playoffs. We're kind of in there. But Schwartz wasn't, it's like, that's not going to work. I'm going to like a defensive minded guy. Okay, Caldwell, professional, settle the franchise down, Jim. He does. We're 9-7. But people are like, we should probably be better than that. We've got Stafford. We've got Kelvin Johnson, Golden Tate. Like, what are we doing? So we make the most brutal mistake in bringing in Matt Patricia. Oh my gosh, a defensive genius, right? Obviously doesn't work. We know the history. Now, boom, we get Dan Campbell. And man, that first season with Dan Campbell was rough, but just as rough as Patricia's last season. So we go through a little dark age of 2020, 2021. It's COVID. We win a total of 8 games in those 2 seasons. And then finally, this past year, Dan Campbell turns us around from 1-6. All we've known is just winning here these last 10 games, just 8-2, winning, expecting to win the whole deal. So this is what Dan Campbell did. So Jamaal Williams said, before we left for Green Bay, he played a promo cut of everybody talking crap about us. Basically, all the Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless. I mean, all those shows people still watch, I think, of these guys talking crap. Packers are going to win. Packers are going to win. They're going to go into the playoffs. So Jamaal Williams is like, what? Which makes sense, right? Dan Campbell, you got the media guys cut up a thing of it and talk about and show all the people that are saying that the Lions are going to lose, Packers are going to win, get these guys all fired up. I love it. And that's what I love about Dan Campbell. You looked at those past coaches. You tried the toughness route. That didn't really work. We tried the genius route. It's like, no, that didn't really work with Patricia. Players didn't like him. What we have in Dan Campbell now is a guy that is tough, preaches toughness, grit. He's smart, innovative. Players like him. Players want to be with him. He's honest. He's open. He's super transparent. It's like, thank you. Hard to find that guy, and we have him. We look how hard it is. Go back 25, 30 years. You cannot find these coaches. We haven't had one until then. So then Jamaal Williams goes on to say, I went out pregame. I already knew heavy metal, everything. Aaron Rodgers was talking crap. Aaron Jones is my boy. He was even like, yeah, we're going to the playoffs. And so we didn't even talk. No, we didn't. So just how easy. So it's just a great, because we thought Dan Campbell was a motivator. We thought, yes, he's a motivator. But then what we learned throughout this past season, he's also very smart. He's innovative. He knows when to be aggressive. He's an analytics guy, but also a grit guy. Like, he's got both. It's okay. You can have both. It was like, well, you're either really smart, innovative, young guy, or you're meathead football guy. He's actually like, I can be both. And players like me. And Brad Holmes, same thing. Players like him as well. Like, usually GMs, it's kind of like, I don't know if you have a relationship. It's a general manager. He's like cutting you. He's trading you. No, it's like, I want the best for these guys. So all I'm saying for Lions fans, don't take this for granted. Look how easy it is to go through coach after coach, Morningweg, Mariucci, Marinelli. Holy smokes. I mean, Caldwell was the closest thing to like, okay, this might work, but same thing. It didn't, whatever. We get Patricia. So my point is we have a guy that checks all the boxes when it comes to a coach. If you had to go into a lab and get the perfect coach, I don't know. Am I crazy here? Am I drinking way too much Kool-Aid? But you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting crazy here. I'm just saying Dan Campbell is a motivator. He's innovative. He finds talent on the coaching staff. He's developing guys. But he still cares for guys. I mean, that was the Patricia thing, right? Patricia comes in and just treats our best players like crap. That's a good idea. Really good idea, Matt. Darius Slay, all these guys. He just was like, dude, what are you doing? Caldwell, a real players coach, but maybe too much. Maybe he was too nice on the players and they liked him too much. Like, where was that toughness? That's kind of what we lacked with Caldwell. We just kind of lacked that. Schwartz, super tough. Oh man, super tough. Love the toughness, but where's the innovative? Where's the, Jim Bob Cooter? I guess that was called, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Offensive. It's like, whoa, offensively. Do you remember Stafford? Man, it's offensively, it was brutal. So we have a coach now that can do everything that we want. And what if Dan Campbell's here for, that's what I always kind of think now, and this is what Lions fans are so excited about. It's the Steelers method. It's what if Dan Campbell is a Mike Tomlin that's here for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. If he's here for 10 years, that means good things are happening, because you look back at this list and all you can see is the longest we've had is 5. Well, we had 5 years with Jim Schwartz. I guess I didn't realize that. That's the longest we've had. 5 years with Jim Schwartz. Finally, it just ran its course. Wasn't going to work. But up until then, it was a max of 3 years. Back into the Wayne Fonts era. Wayne Fonts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 years. So Wayne Fonts is kind of the first coach you think of when you go back into history. I mean, if you're old enough to remember some of these, I'm not. For me, Wayne Fonts, I remember him on the sideline in some of his epic clothing. If you ever see any, he's just had like starter jackets that would be just worth thousands now. Wayne Fonts, what a guy. So point is, hard to find a good coach, and I think we have one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you remember of these coaches? It's funny now, but it's also like, oh my gosh, some of these names. I mean, John Kitna, Johnny Morton, Jermaine Crowell, Gus Frerotte. I thought Gus Frerotte was the greatest ever. Scott Mitchell, Charlie Batch, Joey Harrington, Orlovsky. I mean, it just was not good. It just was not good there for a long time. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.